going on, everyone? Today's guest is a childhood friend of mine. He's a musician. He's a dad. And, we grew up together, like skateboarding and doing dumb stuff. And every time we get back together, man, it's just like old times. So, hope you guys enjoy the podcast. This is my boy, Mark Griffin.
Welcome to the Strong Tower Podcast.
I want to be in a kayak going down rapids.
Right.
Possibly could die. That looks like fun to me.
I mean, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
But that's what I love about me and you, is that we're both not trying to do the social norm bullshit.
Mark Griffin, thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, man. I guess we'll get right into it.
All right.
Music. Whenever I think music, I think about like you, I think about your brother, I think about Jordan, from just like childhood, and Josh.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you're still going with it. So what actually got you into it in the first place when you're younger?
So, growing up, my grandfather, my pop, he's like probably the biggest influence in my life. Like one of the greatest guys I ever knew. And he played guitar, and he built me my first guitar. He was a carpenter, and he had like spare parts, and he would build me a guitar. And I remember him telling me, "You learn how to play that one, and come back, and I'll build you a better one." And in like high school and stuff, I didn't really ever pick anything up. I learned like a few chords, but nothing crazy. And then high school, there was a girl, of course, and I saw Brian Castile playing, and I was like, I could do that. And so like I don't remember how initially I started like diving into it, but I remember Jordan being like a big part of like teaching me stuff and showing me stuff. And like my brother's friend Frank would come over and teach me like Blink-182 songs or Nirvana or Green Day and stuff like that. And I picked it up pretty easy, and I was like, this is fun. Yeah. So I just started rolling with it. So like when my brother wasn't home, I would sneak in his room and play his guitar and all that until I turned like 14, I think. I got like my first electric guitar and started like getting into amps and everything. So I just picked it up from there and took off.
What because I remember you did tabs a lot. Like that was your thing. Do you think it's like necessary to read music to play instruments, or?
Absolutely not.
No.
What you call it? The more, especially like recently, as I've gotten older, I've learned that like theory would be nice to know, and like knowing how to read music would be nice to know. But like if you look at Kurt Cobain didn't know how to read music. And
oh really?
Jimi Hendrix didn't know how to read music.
No.
They're all just like, it's a feeling. So like, and that's what I'm getting into a lot recently. Like my genres, I guess you could say, that I listen to are way more eclectic now, because I'm learning that it's not just skill. It's not just knowing what to play, but the feeling that you can express within what you play. You can make a guitar talk and say what you want it to say, but you need to have some kind of skill behind it. So like when I was younger, I would sit in front of the TV for hours and just like go over, I'd find a scale or something, or I'd just warm my fingers up, just 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across. And yeah, you just build up some skill, and then you learn like little tips and tricks here and there, and you can use it. It's like a tool to express yourself.
And what drew you to that actual like a guitar and not anything else?
I always liked guitar. I like when I first started at Newcastle, my parents came to me and they were like, do you want to take guitar lessons or piano lessons? And we had a piano in the house and we didn't have a guitar. So I was like, I'll pick up the piano. Well, like 2 or 3 months into lessons, the teacher moved away. So even then, I knew that I was like, I can always pick up guitar later on if I want. So I don't know. I just did.
Because like for me, like I always dabbled in it, but I could never. I think it just took too much, and I wanted it to happen quick.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be on the same level as you guys.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh, this is, it's going to take too long. You know what I mean? So I just didn't do it or whatever. So what age did you start actually like doing something with it, like being in bands and that kind of stuff?
I think I picked it up like hard when I was 14. I'd always like kind of dabbled with it before then, but when I was 14 is when it really started to pick up. And like I think it was 15 or 16 when me and Josh and Jordan and Matt had all been in the Break of Skies or whatever. Yeah. And I started thinking, I was like, this could be a career. Like that's crazy to think that doing this little party trick or whatever could be a career. And I loved it. And I remember watching, there's a documentary, I think it's called Riding in Vans with Boys or something like that, where they followed Blink-182 and Jimmy Eat World and Green Day on tour. And I remember just seeing these guys are all friends hanging out, and they would just hop in a van and ride to the next venue with each other. And there's all kind of like, it's just hanging out with your friends and having fun and getting to play music. It's just like, blows my mind.
Yeah.
Well, that was always the goal.
So what do you think happened? Like, did that go downhill for you, or are you happy with where you are with music right now? Or
I'm pretty happy with where I am with music. I've gotten to a point where I'm like, you know what? I would love more than anything, like ultimate Mark Griffin dream is to be in a van with my friends, just riding across the country, meeting people, playing music. I honestly don't even care what kind of music it would be.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
It doesn't even have to make sense, but like just to spend time with my friends and to travel would be phenomenal. But I'm now a parent, so I'd way rather. I'm so glad that I'm a parent, but yeah, now that I'm a parent, like it would be cool to go on like a week or a month and do that. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not like upset about it. I feel like what I do with music now means more to everyone else.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me. Like with my church that I play at, I'll get messages from people all the time that are like, man, I love the way that you lead up there. The like atmosphere that you bring into that room is crazy. And like I've learned now as I've gotten older that it's not about the type of music that you play, but the atmosphere that you bring into the room.
Yeah.
Like the music doesn't even have to make sense.
Right.
As long as people connect with it and feel
and how you make them feel.
Yeah. And that's crazy to me, but I love hearing that stuff. It always like motivates me to dig deeper.
Yeah.
And get better.
And then maybe that's one of the reasons that like you were given a kid, you know, was to change your direction and to do something like that rather than like go on the road with your friends and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just never know what God has in store for you, which is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
You know, because I know in my life I seen like it goes so many directions that I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even a year prior before that. So, I mean, it's one of the craziest things. Have you tried to like be in bands or anything, or are you just like doing stuff with the church?
Pretty much just doing stuff with the church. I have like a few friends that do like the cover band thing.
Oh yeah.
And they like make extra money on the weekends and stuff, which I would like to do. Just like to make a little bit of extra money on the weekend.
Oh yeah,
and I'm
definitely.
doing what I love for like 4 or 5 hours. That's dope. That's so sick. And it's like I feel like it helps me. That's why I like doing things with music. It might not just be like praise and worship music or whatever that I'm playing, but like even to become more versatile as a musician to me is so valuable and so sought after. I love that stuff. Anything with music.
Have you ever tried like trying another instrument, or you sticking with guitar?
I dabble in a couple other things. Like I said, when I was young, I took piano lessons, so like I know, you know, for Elise and stupid stuff on piano.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like I can make stuff up on piano, but like none of it. Like a guitar to me, the patterns that are across the strings are just like in my mind. Yeah. And then on the piano, it's just blurred. But I know that I could do the same things. And I'm like, even sometimes I'll try and emulate piano. Like things that it does, like the way that the note bends or stays or sustains or whatever. Right. And yeah, so I do a little bit of piano. I played drums for a little bit. I love, like, I'll air drum in the car all day, just beat on the steering wheel. And, like, it just depends on my mood. Like, sometimes if I'm listening to music, I'll either, like, pretend to play guitar to it and, like, jam out, or I'll, like, air drum and, like, tapping and like the patterns and everything for drums has always been like really interested.
Yeah.
And, like Josh helps me out a lot with that stuff. Like
Right.
gives me rudiment sheets to go over and all that, but I don't like delve into it. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that guitar is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, because some things just come to you like naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what the guitar did with you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, someone that learned an instrument and doesn't really like read music but like comes up with his own stuff, like that's just natural.
Yeah.
You know, you can't teach that.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me think of that movie Drumline with Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, read this, but he was like, no, play it.
Yeah.
Then he played it right, you know what I mean? That was so crazy.
Yeah.
But is there someone that you like model your playing after, or someone that you like, a guitar player that you look towards like growing up or now?
So there's always a few that I look at and I'm like, man, if I could play like that guy.
Yeah.
There's Jade Pudgett from AFI, which
Okay,
is
yeah,
like
yeah.
my life band. I could listen to them every day, all
Right,
day.
yeah.
Like stray me on an island, just give me their albums.
Right.
I'm good. And then like what you would call it, Dustin Kensrue from Thrice.
Okay.
I really like him a lot. But like most of the time, as I've learned, that the more I try and seek after to play like those guys, the farther away I get from being me.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like I never looked at music as an art.
Right.
I always looked at it as like a skill or
Mhm.
a something that you pick up, party trick.
Yeah.
But like recently I like see the art behind it, so I like my genres have expanded beyond like heavier stuff or like church stuff.
Yeah.
So like now I'll go through like folk or R&B and hip hop or
Mhm.
like whatever, and like it can all have guitar lines through it. You know, like, and it may not be in with that music, but like to me I'll hear like melody lines and stuff that aren't there.
Yeah.
And it always just like pushes me. But yeah, I don't like, I've looked up to guys, but I don't see myself as being like them. I feel like what I do naturally is more of a personal thing than it is emulating someone else, you know?
Yeah. You ever heard of Billy Strings?
Yes.
Dude, we saw him at the Hard Rock. Is that what it is in Philly?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that guy.
Like I heard a couple songs before, and then we went there, and it's so different.
Yeah.
You know, his passion. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like even if it goes on, like he'll just be playing something that's been going on for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, man. Like let's
wrap
next
it up.
one.
Yeah.
You know, but he just keeps going because you could tell he's in another space. He doesn't
Yeah.
care about us.
Yeah.
You know, he's just in another space, and just to watch that,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, as someone that doesn't really, I dabble in screaming, but like,
Yeah.
it doesn't. That's not anything, but
I mean, everything is something.
that's true. That's true. But yeah, dude, watching him, it was just, and he would sing a couple songs. You know, he could sing a little bit.
Yeah.
But his guitar playing at such a young age.
Yeah.
You know, was he like 23, 24 or something?
think
Even
so.
younger than that, probably.
Yeah. He's an animal.
But oh my gosh.
Yeah. I
That's
found
so
him
crazy.
a few weeks ago. I think I stumbled across a video on Facebook or something.
Yeah, my dad has been following him because he's kind of. Would you consider him bluegrass? Is that what it is?
I feel like he's probably.
It's not a lot of things.
It's probably like a slurred line between bluegrass and like
Yeah.
folk. But
Yeah,
I really like his stuff.
yeah, I love
I
it.
really do.
You know, even my sister came, and me, my brother, and my sister. It was just like, because my brother came in from San Diego last year for Christmas, and my
Yeah.
dad wanted to get us all three together and do something.
Yeah.
And like me and my brother have heard of Billy Strings before, and we all went. And it was a good time.
Yeah, man.
So let's switch gears a minute. Like you said, you had a kid and stuff. Like, how'd that feel? You know,
It is.
the first initial. You know,
Yeah, dude. Like finding out I was having a kid was like,
how old were you at the time?
I was 24.
Mm.
And to me, I was like, I looked up to my brother and sister, and
Yeah.
I was like, they were really young, and I'm late to the game.
Right.
But when he was born, like being in the hospital and stuff, it's like, it was so scary. Like, he ended up being a C-section because he was so big.
Right.
And I remember they told me, they're like, we're going to get you scrubbed up, and you're going to go into the operating room, and we're going to get him out. And I remember sitting in the hall in the scrubs, just being like I've seen a lot of horror movies. I've seen a lot of really gory things.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like sitting in this hallway at the hospital, mentally preparing myself. Like, I'm gonna see inside a body. I'm gonna see inside a real body. This is a real live
You
body.
looked?
Yeah. Like, you can't not. It's
I
like,
wouldn't look. I can't do that.
It's like a train wreck, dude. It's like you want to look away because you know something horrible is happening, but you're like, I kind of want to see what's happening.
Yeah. Oh man.
But dude, like when he came out, I was initially like seeing her all drugged up on the table was like scary to me because I was like, this woman's giving me a child, and here she is on this table, like not even moving, but like she's still conscious. I was worried about her. And like the doctors, I remember, came over to me and like, you can come over and see your son now. I'm like, is she gonna be okay? Because there's a lot of body parts laying on this table here.
Oh man,
like I know he's in one piece. I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, seeing him for the first time was just like, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was just like this humbling moment where you feel like it's almost like a movie, but like in my memory it feels like a movie, but like being there in person, there is nothing that compares to that. It's just, I made this, I helped make this, you know.
Yeah.
It's half me, it's half her, and it's just like really humbling. You're just like, I can't mess anything up from now on.
I know.
But yeah,
Dude, did you cry? I think I would have.
I think I teared up a little bit. I don't remember like sobbing or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was more like just kind of relieved because like we were there in the hospital for like 4 days, but like she was due to be induced the next day.
Okay.
And the night before, her water had broke. And I remember just being like, I have so much responsibility. Get the bags, get the car, clean this up, drive all the way to the hospital. Because we were like 45 minutes away from the hospital that we were going to have him in. And like, I remember getting ready to go to bed that night, and she was just like, I think my water just broke. And like, from there, I was just like, run, go. Yeah, it's super stressful, but it's beyond worth it. That stuff I don't even look at as anything.
Yeah.
But like having him, man, it's incredible. It really is.
Yeah. What would you say? Were there any like difficulties raising him, like for you?
So, I think I'm gonna get a little deep, but so initially when he was born, I was working overnight, so I would be like midnight to like 12 in the afternoon every day, and I would only sleep like 3 or 4 hours a day, and like I can remember going like 2-3 days without sleep because like I have to be up with him, and I have to make sure, because we had one car and one phone, so I was like, I have to make sure she gets to work, and I have to make sure he's in daycare, and I have to make sure that I spend time with him, and I have to make sure that the house is taken care of and everything, because like I had it. I had the dream. I had my family. We had 3 dogs. I had the house. I had a job. You know, everything was great. And then like, so like growing up when he was young like that, I would spend time with him, but I would play with him and things like that. And I would try and do like little things that I had wished my dad did. Not that my dad didn't do anything with us, but like I wanted to make sure that I'm doing at least the same things that my dad did for us.
Right.
Growing up. And then when she left, we had split up. I think it was November 2016, and like I remember the initial start of everything, and it was just every worst nightmare that I ever had about marriage or having a kid had came true.
Yeah.
And I remember being so like beat up and hurt by it, but after a few months or so, I kept thinking to myself, like, he would ask me to play with him, and I would look at it and be like, I'm a single dad now. Like, I have to make sure, like, he has nobody else. Like, her leaving made me a better dad. It made me step up and be like, hey, I'm home from work. Let's go do something. I'm going to take you to the skate park. Let's go to the park and run and go on the swings. Let's go to the store and like look at toys or like play video games or whatever.
Yeah.
And like as he's gotten older, I still like in the summertime especially, I try and get him to the skate park because he loves riding his bike and he loves being on a skateboard.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like being an adult, it's hard to get out and be active.
Yeah.
So like I look at that as my time to get out and get fresh air and get exercise, and he goes, man, and like it's so awesome to see like all the kids there at the skate park, especially because I remember growing up when we were kids and we go to the skate park, we would just crap on kids just for nothing, like just because they weren't riding or doing anything. But like him being at the park, he'll like roll down a bank and all the dudes there are like, oh, it's so sick. Yeah, and I'm like, it's like proud moments all over the place. But yeah, ever since his mom left, I was like, I need to step up and I need to be the best dad that I can possibly be. And now I'm just like, I just want to be a dad that he's proud of. Like when he sees me in front of his friends, he's like, that's my dad. Yeah. And like, you know, I love that stuff.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that you came out of it, I mean, obviously you're still going through it. Yeah. You know, and it's cool that he's kind of like doing the same things that you were doing as a kid, like with a skateboard and you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. But do you see a lot of you in him?
I do. Like his personality comes out more and more, and like some of the words he says, dude, just throws me for a loop. Yeah. But like the way he jokes about stuff, he'll like say something in front of me and my parents will be like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I get it. Yeah. It's hilarious. But yeah, like I love that he's into some of the stuff that I was when I was a kid. But it, like I said, it's super scary at the same time because he's getting to that age where he's like a daredevil and thinks he's like made of rubber. And to me, I'm just like, I remember when I was 8 and I broke my arm and broke all these fingers and stuff, like all the trouble I got into. But I'm like, looking back on it now, I'm like, I did it, so I know how he's gonna feel, right? Or at least somewhat like how he's gonna feel if he does something like that. I can always. Yeah. Just
don't let them find the CKY and Jackass stuff like we used to do. You know what I mean?
We keep those tucked away. All that stuff.
So there's a question from Instagram.
All right.
They wanted to know about if you have any tattoos, and if you do, what do they stand for?
I have some.
Okay.
So I'll start with the big one. My left arm has it's a kraken who I've named Ralph, grabbing a ship off the shore, and on the inside of my arm is Bruce the shark. And
the one from Nemo?
No.
Oh, you just named it?
I have names for all the faces.
Oh, you just named it? Oh, okay.
So this one I got. It's my uncle that I was named after, my Uncle Mark. He was a sailor, and he had died, I think, right before I was born. But he died of cirrhosis of the liver, and I was like, this was like the first big tattoo I had gotten. And I was like, I want something meaningful, but not, I don't want to get my own name tattooed on me, kind of thing, you know? I feel like that's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, so I got all this to remind me, like, well, not to remind me, but like, I know where I come from. Yeah. You know? I got this little diamond on my finger. Me and my wife, or my ex-wife, had on our 3-year anniversary, she had surprised me with a trip to the tattoo shop, and we had both got the diamond on our fingers. I have the one on my chest for Aaron Kilmer, who's in my graduating class, and he had taken himself. And it was a tattoo that he always wanted to get. So me and Delmont, we had went and got it together to like commemorate him.
That's cool.
I have a treble clef with a cross going through it on my arm, just because.
That was your first one, right?
No, my first one is super embarrassing. My first one, I was 14, and my parents came to me and said, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, I want a tattoo. And initially, I had wanted it, this big rose with these Indian feathers coming across my ribcage.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
So my dad had the same one, but it was super tiny on his forearm.
Right.
And that was the only way I could get a tattoo, because my dad had the same thing. Yeah. So we went, my cousin worked at Agru or Agaru.
Yeah, that's where I got both my tattoos.
Yeah, and JR. Mm-hmm. He had tattooed that on my leg, and yeah, that was the first one. It's really,
that's right. I remember that.
It's really gross now, but
is it?
It's like faded and pink, and I need to get it retouched. But I have the tops of my feet done. One foot says I, the second foot says am. Like Elijah had asked God, who should I tell him sent me, and he said, tell them I am. Yeah, sent you. I have the Devil Wears Prada John on my wrist. But I look at it as, I love the Devil Wears Prada, but I would never get a tattoo just for the Devil Wears Prada. Yeah. So this one I got on a whim in Westchester. I look at it as Father, Son, and Holy Ghost on Christ on the cross between the two thieves.
Well, isn't that what they did? Isn't that what that is?
It might be. I don't know.
I think that's what it is.
It might be. I'll have to ask them or something. Yeah, then I had this little skull with a dagger going through it on my arm. There's a line from a song from the Chariot. It says, have you fallen asleep with a dagger in between your bones? Like, have you given up on everything? That's kind of what I looked at. As I look at that and I'm like, I can't give up.
Yeah.
I had this big piece I just finished on my stomach and my chest. It's like...
Oh, did that hurt?
So, the first time I went, I just got the outline done.
Yeah.
And right in my sternum, like where that bone is,
Mm-hmm.
that hurt really bad. Like
Right.
the belly button wasn't nothing. And then he would touch on my ribs and it would like take my breath away.
Right.
And then I went back to go get it filled in and I had lost some weight. And when he was coloring in the inside of my belly button, it was just horrific.
Oh
I was
my
just
gosh.
like, this is awful. This is terrible. But it came out really good. I'm really glad with it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's it. Just a couple.
I love that you have meaning for all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of the things that irritates me sometimes is like when people don't have something that means something to them.
Yeah.
You know, they just go and get something. If it's small, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, but when you're getting something big,
Yeah.
like I have this idea I want to get my full chest done. You know, it probably won't be anytime soon.
Yeah.
But because I still want to put the pieces together, but like it involves like Samson and all these different stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick looking, but I'm making sure that all my thoughts are going into why I want it and why
Yeah.
you know it is where it is. Also,
Yeah.
my first one was a cross on my back,
Mm-hmm.
and it's supposed to say truth above it. They put the wrong font, and it looks like it says truck. So, dude, no lie. So I got it when I was in high school, when I was 18, my 18th birthday. My parents they printed out like a picture and said, "Oh, we're letting you get this tattoo." I was like, "Oh, thank you," like you know.
Thank you.
So yeah, I went to the Garu and got it, and I looked at it. When I looked at it, it looked like it said truth. I was like, "Oh yeah." Went to school the next day.
Yeah.
Why'd your back say truck?
Straight haters.
I was like, oh, dude. And I looked at it again. And I was like, it really looks like it. Like people, so they say crutch or truck.
Now they're in your head.
And I was like, yeah, dude, they were, you know. And then I had people slapping my back all the time.
Oh,
and
dude, that is the worst. When you get a fresh tattoo and everybody's like, oh, where's it at?
yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle used to be like, oh, you got to slap the ink in. So he would just go boom like that. I got one on my ribs and he did it right there. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, because that one I almost cried.
Yeah.
I did 3 hours straight, and
the ribs are no joke.
if I had to go a little bit longer, because I didn't take any breaks.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to get this done.
Yeah.
You know, so she was like, all right. So
let's go.
So then you got the outlining, and then you got the black and white, and then you got the color, and by the color, it was just burning. Like it felt like I had 3rd-degree burns. Like, and she was just scraping into them.
Yeah, man.
You know, dude, it was so bad.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like when we go back, talk about like tattoos and meaning and stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like some people, and I don't have anything against it. Like, but to go and get a tattoo just for the experience, I feel like that could be even it's like a subliminal meaning behind it. Like, oh, I got this. I remember the day because I went to the beach that day, and you know.
Yeah,
I think that's okay. But
yeah, I can understand that because that's still kind of meaning something. It's still something meaningful to you.
Yeah,
you know, even though it's not like deep.
Yeah,
like deep thought or anything like that. But it's the people that like, oh, I'm gonna get a 3-leaf clover on my ankle. You know,
why? Because my mom said I'm Irish once.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom said I was Irish once. Yeah, so it's a little things like that.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
yeah, and I don't know. So what do you, going back to like music and stuff, do you have any like favorite bands, favorite type of music, or are you just all over the place?
As of recently, I'm way all over the place. Like I looked at my iTunes today, and my recent search history was like Ruth B, who sings that Lost Boy song about Peter Pan.
Okay,
that
yeah.
girl is phenomenal. And then I looked up One of my buddies just turned me on to this guy, Khalid.
Okay, yeah.
I like him a lot. And then the other one was like Black Dahlia Murder.
Okay.
And then like I got Billy Strings and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like all over the place. Anything that has like, if it has a guitar line in it, I'm automatically drawn to it. And
Right.
like for the hip hop stuff, I'm like starting, especially because of Instagram. There's so much stuff on there.
Oh yeah.
I'll like go through and I'll see these people playing like hip hop songs on the guitar, and like I don't know, just the way they play it. I'm like, that is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all over the place.
That's what I mean. It confuses me a lot, like genres now. I'm like, how can you name something? It just doesn't.
I feel like there aren't any genres.
There really not. It's just music.
Yeah.
You know, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the way I am. I just like certain things.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite, like all-time favorite singer is Whitney Houston.
There you go. Yeah.
Like, dude, like
Yeah.
put on any song, I would be on the dance floor like crazy, man. Like put on Whitney Houston, that's my girl.
Yeah, man.
You know, and then I can turn my next song, it'll be like For Today or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I can go from that to that, like quick.
Yeah.
And it's just the love of the song or the band or the person, like the music in general.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what genre it is.
I had our the worship leader at my church. I was giving him a ride the one night over to his car, and he was like, I had some CD on in the car. I think it was Dayseeker, and he was like, I moved up from down south, and it seems like everybody up here likes that heavy music. He said, why do you like heavy music? I was like, I don't think it's that I like heavy music. I like music with passion behind it, and like you see it a lot in praise and worship music, but like metal music, I look at it and I'm like, this guy is literally destroying his vocal cords to bring his art to you.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to get his message out, and he's literally tearing himself apart on this stage. And that's why you hear passion behind it. You see them on stage when they're either like on the floor, like bent over, or like running across, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's the same thing with like praise and worship music to me. You see you'll see people on stage that are like, you look at them and you're like, that guy went through something, and this song is like helping
He's
him
feeling
get
it.
through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like I'm not even gonna lie, every time I'm on stage at church, I cry almost every time.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not on stage and I'm just standing out with the rest of the church, some of the songs, dude, I'll sit there and think about it, and I'm just like, man, I'm really feeling this. And then the song comes on and it says something that like not empowers me, but it just like lifts something off of me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But like anything with passion in it, I feel like it's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that so much in music. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's my church.
Yeah.
Because when like the speaking is great and all, but sometimes for me it goes through one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
You know, or I don't agree with their opinion or something like that.
Yeah.
But music, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and you either feel it or you don't.
Yeah.
And that's the way I get. Like they could play one song and I'll be like, oh yeah, I like that song. But the next one just like grabs my heart and just pulls me to my knees, man.
Yeah.
Like I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been in church in forever, but I feel like I do things in my relationship with God like different.
Yeah.
And I think it helps me explain to people that aren't people of faith,
Yeah.
you know, why I do what I do and why I believe what I believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather than going to church and yeah, it's good to surround yourself with other people of faith and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But how are you making things any better when you all believe the same thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you're not growing,
right.
it's not.
And that's just the way I felt. I felt like, and I've been in church my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, and I just feel like I'm trying to, you know, just make an example to other people, like people I work with, or, you know, just people that know me, and be like, oh, Ben does that, or, you know,
Yeah.
Ben believes that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just make sure that, one, I mention it, you know, I'm not pushing it on someone,
Yeah.
and all
that's
that
big.
kind of stuff, you know. But one time, like, I was in the kitchen, and I usually play music while I cook my food for the week and that kind of stuff, right? I forget what song it was. Never Let Go.
Yeah.
And it was by Stellar Cart.
Yeah.
They like redid it.
Classic.
Yeah, dude. Oh, So good. And dude, that just like pulled me, like I literally fell to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he's
Yeah.
talking about like, oh no, you never let go, through the calm, through the storm. And I
Yeah.
must have been going through something at the time. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just the power and music.
Yeah.
You know, is a huge thing.
It's crazy. It's just sounds. It's just vibrations and stuff, you know? It's
Which is
crazy.
weird.
Yeah.
You know, and why people, when like I think it was probably like our parents' age, like when they were going to church or whatever, and people would, oh, that's the devil's music and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, so my wife got baptized at First Baptist not a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and her family was like grew up Catholic and stuff, you know. So they all came to see her.
Yeah.
They came into church. I had my nephews ask me, "Are they gonna play those drums? Are they gonna play that guitar?" I was like, "Yeah, man." And they started playing. They're like, because they're used to just the organ and stuff, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because Catholic
yeah.
church, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do it.
Dude, the
I
church
couldn't
I
do
grew
that.
up in was straight a piano, and that was it. And there was
Really?
one person that
Mm.
would sing. Or if it was like a special weekend, like Easter, they'd have a choir.
Yeah.
And growing up like that, I was just like, it's music, but it's not.
Yeah.
It needs, I feel like certain things are required, not required, but they definitely help in fulfilling or bringing that atmosphere into the room,
Mhm.
kind of thing, you know? Like the church I go to in Newark, we have like the lights are real dim, and it feels like a concert.
Yeah, yeah.
It really does. But like to me, like I've been at concerts before. Like we went to go see O Sleeper,
Okay.
and O Sleeper's lyrics to me, dude, they just hit
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing them at the Grange and just going crazy.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think it's just you need to be in that, not just in the mindset, but like you have to, for the environment that you're in, there can't be like distractions rolling around and stuff like that. Because
Right.
you know, some churches just like, not saying there's anything wrong with it, but there's
Yeah.
like kids crying or screaming in the background,
Yep.
or there's like, you know, oh, there's Terry and Steve walking in 20 minutes late again.
Yep,
It becomes
exactly.
like politics and stuff.
Yeah.
As long as it's like our goal at my church is, we always say the goal is to create a distraction-free environment, or a
Mhm.
distraction-free atmosphere for people to be able to come in and just, you're just listening to music, just
Yeah.
and you can do your own thing where you are. There's people that dance and do all kinds of stuff. It's so awesome to see. It really is.
Definitely. If you're treating it like a concert too, you wouldn't see people walking in late at a concert or babies crying. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like little things like that. So did your son like go to church with you and everything?
Yeah. When typically I play, we have two campuses. There's one
Okay.
in Newark and one in
Yeah,
West
yeah.
Wilmington, up the road at Brandywine Springs. And I've been at the West Wilmington campus for a while now.
Yeah.
My son, he goes, and I'll tell him like Saturday night. Usually, I'll take him in because we have 2 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday at Newark, and there's 2 on
Jeez.
Sunday at Wilmington. Yeah, and it's the same thing. It just repeats.
Right.
But I'll tell him like Saturday, like, hey, do you want to go to church today? Because when I was a kid, my parents would just drag me in. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, Sunday morning, get my suit and tie on.
Yeah.
Got to get up at 6
Yeah.
a.m.
Mm-hmm.
But for him, I'm just kind of like, dude, if you want to, like, I'll tell you why I believe what I believe and how I believe it. I'm not going to push it on him because, like, that stuff, when it gets pushed on you, you tend to rebel against it. And
Oh yeah.
You can't formulate your own opinion. And that's a big thing with me, with him, like, with his hair especially. Like, I'll be like, do you want to get your hair cut? If you don't, you don't have to. I'm
Mhm.
not going to make you. But, yeah, he loves going in. He spends time with the other kids. Every time he comes out, he's like, Daddy, I made this, and I made these hearts for you, and this is what Jesus did with the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. And stuff. And I'm like, yes, thank you. It's so great to see. It really is.
Does he know like all about your like guitar playing and like when you're younger, and you know what I mean?
I think I can't remember. I don't think I've showed him any of the videos or anything. Hopefully he doesn't ever find them ever. But
I know once he gets on YouTube, man, it's
game over.
yeah.
But he like, I'll play guitar and he'll be like sitting there playing Xbox or something, and he'll have kids on the mic like, what's that noise in the background? And he'd be like, that's my dad playing guitar. He's just kind of like, whatever. And like, people at church ask me all the time, they're like, do you ever like play guitar for him to go to sleep? or something, because like I've done it to myself, like laying on the floor playing guitar when I was younger, I put myself to sleep. But I think I've put him to sleep like one time playing guitar, and it was just because he was like nodding off.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just like, I'll just fiddle around for a minute.
Yeah.
But he's cool with it. He thinks it's cool. I think he likes the drums more, but he's still young too. So
Right.
if he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. No,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think back to when I was a kid, and I mean, I just had my dad on the other day, and we talked about it, and he said like the same thing. I think he wished he would have like held on to the reins a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I told him, I was like, look, man, like if we didn't learn the way we learned, you know, I had to rebel. I had to learn on my own.
Yeah.
I can't learn from other people's mistakes. I had to learn from my own.
Yeah.
You know? And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Exactly.
You know, because eventually I did come back around. And as much as I ran away from God and all that kind of stuff, I ended up coming back, and my faith has been stronger than ever.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's been like 2 years, a year, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things with, like, I mean, I don't have a kid, but like I have nephews and nieces and stuff like that, and I see sometimes decisions their parents make.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like, what draws you to that? You know, it's just gonna make your kid like not trust you and hate you and all that kind of stuff. Where I know you're not supposed to be the best friend.
Yeah. Which is hard to do.
Right.
It's way harder than I anticipated.
Right. But I think it just needs understanding. I think it's understanding and knowing that you'll be there for them through anything.
Yeah.
Whether they're right, whether they're wrong, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, little things like that. What kind of stuff have you learned about yourself having a kid?
That I am against my own will, my parents.
Yeah.
No, I think the biggest thing I've learned is just like it's a lot of sacrifice, like a lot.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like sacrifice. It's more like I brought you into this world and now I have to like take care of you kind of thing. But I don't know, like the biggest thing I learned about myself, that I am a pushover when it comes to him. Yeah. Like if he asks me for anything, and it might just be like only child syndrome or something for him, but like he'll ask me for stuff and I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, can I have this? Dude, no. And 10 minutes later, I'll come back and be like, okay.
Okay, man.
But only because.
And then you make up this excuse in your head, and you're just like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
But like, because it takes like a different kind of strength to like everything happen all at once, that you know, and to go from that and then make a decision to say, hey, like it's time, we got to do this.
Yeah.
I got to do this.
Yeah.
You know, I think that takes a lot of patience. I think that takes a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Courage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. To actually like,
because it's in those moments of time where you find out stuff about yourself you would have never guessed.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why I don't love struggle, but I don't like going through it. I like coming out of it and seeing what I just did.
Yeah.
You know what I
Makes
mean?
sense.
So, you know, and I think that's what your son's going to notice.
Yeah.
Like I tell my nephews all the time, like, or my sister-in-law and stuff, I was like, your kids are going to notice. I tell people at work, this woman always talks to me about her kid problems and stuff. Well, Ben, what should I do? I don't have kids. I don't know.
Why are you asking me?
Why asking me? You know? But it's just one of those people that sees something in me and she feels like she needs to, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just tell her, I was like, your kid will see it.
Yeah.
Even though they're young,
Dude,
like keep doing what you're doing. They're going to see it.
Yeah. They pick up so much more stuff than we even realize. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll see him, like, he'll use words. Like, I remember the first time he used the word responsibility. And I was just like
what'd you just say?
Yeah. It just, like, throws you for a loop.
Yeah.
But, like, they pick up so much stuff, dude. It's crazy. And, like, it's not even that like they'll hear something and repeat it. It's like they'll hear it and they'll understand it,
Right.
and then be able to formulate their own opinion on it. And that's the part where you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Where, so let's say, where do you think you're gonna be about like 5 years from now?
I have no idea.
If you had to guess.
If I had to guess,
You know what I mean?
hopefully not being a single father living at my parents' house.
Yeah. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't
You gotta
foresee that
put
because
your ego and pride aside a
Yeah.
lot of times and embrace the suck.
Yeah.
You know, as they say. You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, man, you're doing everything you can do, man.
Yeah.
As long as you're a good dad, everything else will fall in place.
Yeah, that's like my main concern. Like, work is work, and playing music is playing music, and I love it. But like, my main goal is to make sure that he is brought up and raised in the best way possible, so he's not like growing up and being a jerk to people, and he's not growing up and throwing his life away, kind of thing, But yeah, like I said before, I just want to be a dad that he can be proud of. I want him to be like, my dad's coming to pick me up, or like, guys, I want my dad to come hang out with us at the skate park this weekend, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's like my goal.
Be like, guys, my dad used to skate. Like, it's cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's not very good, but like,
He's
he'll
not
roll
very
around with us.
I was watching videos I make. You remember Dario?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. He has a kid now too.
Wow.
Little girl.
Oh man, I'm so old.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. But I was watching a video that I made. It was when I first started like editing videos, and when I used the inline skate, and my brother and Dario skateboarded.
Yeah.
Dario's one of those kids, man. Like, you put any kind of board, snowboard, scooter, skateboard, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he was just good on it. I'm like, how? You just started.
Yeah.
You know? And we went to that Boomers skate park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Classic.
And, dude, it was so bad. I was like, what was I doing? Like, what?
I look back on stuff that I tried, and I'm like, did I really think that I could do that?
Yeah. Like, you see videos of yourself at the skate park, and we're just like, oh, okay. That was what we were going for? All right. You know what I mean? I saw another, I had like, I was skating, I think I was skating in my house or something, and I had like a As I Like Dying shirt with like a puka shell necklace. I was like, dude, I was confused. Like,
Nah, man, you just did your own thing.
I thought it was cool. I think we all did,
Yeah.
you know? And I love that little group that we had.
Dude, like, I tell people all this time, like, I don't have friends, I have family. Like, even us, like, growing up and stuff, dude, I feel like, I don't know if it was the school we went to or what, but, like, all my friends that are dudes, I'm like, you're my brother, dude. You need something at 3 a.m. I don't care if we haven't talked in 10 years.
Yeah, man.
You call me up and let me know. If you're moving into a house and you need somebody with a truck, let me know, and I'll either find someone with a truck or we'll take care of it.
Right.
Like, we're brothers. And, like, it's like when everything happened with Nick. I was like, that's my little brother. And, like, coming to Alex and be like, hey, man, do you need anything? It's just like, I don't know. I love it. It really is like our own little family.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, it really felt that way, like growing up too. And I remember the time where we finally had to split up. You know, like, well, of course I got held back. So you were in high school, and then I was, So
You brought it up, not me.
and then I think I bring it up all the time when I talk to people.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things where the struggle, like, it sucked at the time.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone that Famer was my homeroom teacher, Jason Famer.
Yeah.
He said he was taking roll call, right?
Yeah.
He said, then he come to my name. He said, Ben Hamrick, welcome to round 2. I was like, come on, man. Everyone started laughing. I was just so sad. I hated it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I remember I found out I was going to a different school, and then I found out Ben Moran was going to a different school, then Jordan was going to a different school, and then you were still at Newcastle.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude.
We'd spend so much time together. Not even just at school. It was like Wednesday night after church. Fridays if there was the event for the youth. Yeah. And then Sunday morning we're back with each other.
And a lot of times at your house or at Jordan's house.
Yeah.
You know, doing something stupid,
Getting into trouble.
doing dumb stuff. You know,
Yeah.
doing everything they say. They tell you not to try it at home. Nope, we did. We
Yep.
tried it.
And we videotaped it.
We videotaped it. We did. Do you have any advice for two things?
Okay.
One, for someone that is playing guitar and wants to join a band or wants to go that route.
Okay.
You know, so start with that.
Okay. So with that, I would say, and it's gonna suck. It really is. But like, it'll be worth it.
Mhm.
Especially if it's something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So like, I would just pick up a cheap guitar, like go to the pawn shop, $75, whatever. And then literally you can, I remember growing up, I would get Guitar World magazine. It came with a disc. It would like, bet you can't play this. And then it would slow it down. And I would sit there and try and learn it. But then like I would expand on it. But to like pick up and learn guitar, it's like, especially by feel and not to read music or anything, you literally have to pick it up and see what sounds you can make and what sounds you want to make. And then, excuse me, to like hear the sounds in your head and to be able to portray them or to send the information to your hand.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But literally just, I would sit on a couch in my room and just go over everything. And like over time it becomes muscle memory and you build up like the calluses and all that.
Yeah.
But like YouTube helped a lot with like techniques and stuff, and Jordan helped me a lot when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would just YouTube a lot of things and go all the way over. You can learn anything on there.
Oh
But,
yeah, they got everything.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, the bottomless pit. But yeah, just sit and take your time, and yeah, whatever you hear in your head, don't like short yourself. Don't be like, that's close. Like, get it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would probably be the best form of advice I can give.
So, this isn't the second part, but about being passionate about something. Would you tell someone so what if I came to you and say, hey man, I'm passionate about like lifting and this kind of stuff, like should I like pursue it, like just drop everything and pursue it? Like what would you think? Like what would you say?
I mean, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm all about it. Whatever you want to do. Like, I don't want to. If it's something you want to do and you get into it and you don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
you can always come back to whatever you're doing, or you can find something else.
Yeah.
But like, as long as you'll never know if you're gonna be that passionate about it, if you're gonna love it until you do it.
Right.
So like, I'm gonna support you. Go out and do it.
Yeah.
You know, don't just sit there and wonder what if. 'Cause that's no good for anybody.
Yeah, and that's the same way I feel. I was like, okay, I need to try it.
Yeah.
You know, I need to try. Like, if someone were coming to me asking, say, oh, hey, like, I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket.
Yeah.
One, I would ask them if they're passionate about it.
Yeah.
Two, I would I don't know. I mean, it's tough because I want someone to have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That.
Which doesn't mean like going to school, but maybe some people it does.
Yeah.
For me, you could do a lot of things without going to school.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
And the big thing now is with this new generation, like our generation and the one under us, are like starting a lot of their own businesses.
Yeah.
Like it's something that I'm trying to do. It's something like plenty of people are trying to do.
Yeah.
But I also have a job that brings in income.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's important. And so you got to see is one thing as your side hustle, and the other thing is your job to create your living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's what I would tell people. But you got to make sure you're passionate about it.
Yeah. You got to know what you're getting into.
It's like with me, I was big into personal training. Like I was taking classes on how to try and get better.
Yeah.
And all these kind of things. But then I finally had a like realization of how much I hate it. You know what I mean? I'm like, do I really like this? I feel like I was almost like tricking myself.
Yeah.
You know, into liking it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have anything else. This is what I have to do.
Yeah.
But then I found this way I created a business. I run a retail supplement company online.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my passion. I'm passionate about it. I have fun doing it. I have fun editing videos and making videos for myself and Photoshop and taking pictures and, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like a full-time job.
Yeah.
And it's creating content is a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. You know, and that's why when people say like, oh, you do YouTube stuff, that's not nothing. I'm like, you ever tried to do YouTube? Are you kidding me?
I can't imagine,
dude.
Like, just like racking your brain all day, every day.
Yeah.
Come up with ideas.
You gotta come, yeah, and that's the biggest thing is coming up with ideas and creating the content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, a lot of people have people like that they pay to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, to do the lighting and to run the cameras and to, you know, take the pictures or whatever. Right. Yeah. Meanwhile, you got people like me doing it all themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it takes so much time.
Yeah.
But I love it.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? And that's what I would tell someone, man. Like, that's what you got to feel.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I had love for personal training, but then it died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, luckily, I have this to fall back on because I found it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad fitness, like, in bodybuilding kind of opened this door.
Yeah.
You know, because I thought I was going to be a pro bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That was my... until I found out how much drugs you got to do.
Oh,
yeah, man.
I have a buddy that does stuff, but he doesn't do drugs or anything. But
yeah,
it's crazy all the stuff.
I mean, you could get big naturally.
Yeah.
But you need that stuff to be a professional. Yeah, the professional I wanted to be. That's that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
But so what would you give someone like advice in life? Like how to overcome struggles and kind of looking back at what you had to go through.
So the biggest thing I could say is just like realize that everything is for a purpose. Like nothing happens for no reason. It might be something that you don't see at first, but it might take time for you to learn something. But you're always learning something. Even if you fail, you learn something. You got to take something away from it.
Yeah.
Like if something doesn't work out, it's not because you didn't put everything you have into it. It might be, but more likely than not, if you put everything into it and it doesn't work out, it wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But regardless, you still learn. You still have the experience behind you. And like through a religious aspect, it's like there's a guy that I worked with who said this to me and always tips in my head. But he said, God will hold you, but he won't choke you. Yeah. So like he'll hold you back. He might hold you back from doing something, but it's not going to kill you. Right. It's meant to, you might be meant for something else, something better. But it's always something better. It's never something worse.
Or it's just not your time.
Yeah. You got to be patient sometimes. And that's like, I'm saying, it's like take lessons away from everything that you do. Yeah. Like even if it works out or if it's good or if it's bad, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But you just got to always look to say and tell yourself like it's going to be better. Right. It's not going to, it might get worse, but it's going to be worth it in the end.
Oh, definitely. And then we'll end on this. What motivates you? I probably know the answer to that, but
what motivates me in life? Yeah, to
keep going.
To keep
doing what you do. Yeah.
This little 6-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It really is.
Of course.
I look back, I'm like, I went through times where I was just like, man, life would be so much better if I just wasn't here. Right. And like now I look at it, I'm like, there ain't no way I'm leaving anytime soon. I'm not doing nothing. I got this little boy. I know that he's gonna miss me. I'm gonna miss the crap out of him if anything ever happened. Mm-hmm. But God forbid. But yeah, he pushes me to do everything and anything. I'm always just like looking at my job. I'm like, I need to work. I need to make sure I can at least be up for this promotion so I can make more money. So like maybe next year I could take him to Disney World or maybe I can buy him a new bike or a new skateboard. Yeah. And like I always need to like make sure I'm not overworking myself at the same time where I'm like, I need to be home. I need to make sure I sit down and do his homework with him. And I'm going to make sure that I read his book to him every night. And I'm going to make sure that, we go out and we do things. We don't just sit in the house all day, every day. Yeah. He pushes me. Even if he doesn't know it, he pushes me.
That's crazy. And one day he'll find this on YouTube. You know,
Along with some other.
maybe some of that stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't even know where all that stuff is.
Yeah.
I think I just have. I think I have the one of the Break of Skies things at like, what do they call it? First Friday?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah. I think that's all I have.
Yeah.
Everything else, I have no idea.
Well, where Matt's wearing like all the pink flamingo fingerless gloves. And all that.
Yeah. That's.
Maybe I
It
should
was
be
that
as
stage.
embarrassed.
It was that stage.
Yep. It's funny.
But Mark, man, it's great having you on.
Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you coming. Appreciate you doing
Bro.
this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Is there anything that you want to plug or anything? Like,
Maybe just my church.
yeah, that's fine.
So the Journey in Newark. There are gatherings on Saturday at 4:30 and 6. There's gatherings 3 times on Sunday at 9:30, 9, 10:30, and 12. The West Wilmington campus is at Brandywine Springs Elementary School. There's services at 9:30 and 11. Come out to West Wilmington, and I will see you there, more likely than not.
Do you just play on Sundays?
Yeah, well, for the time being.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about, because my mom mentioned to me that one of them does Saturday nights, and I was like,
Newark.
I might try that.
Yeah, I get
So-
requests for Newark. I got requests for Newark today, but I was like, I have things to do.
Are you like the top guy at yours? Like the top guitarist, or?
There's like 3 or 4 of us that are all lead guitarists.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a small, tight knit group.
Yeah, man. That's cool, because that's huge.
Yeah,
You know?
love it.
Yeah, and
Really
it gives you that kind of rock star like feeling, because it's like you're having a concert.
Yeah,
You
But,
know
like,
what I mean?
it's like everyone else's job there is equally as important
Right.
as ours. You know, from the people that direct
Oh,
in the
definitely.
parking lot to the people who watch kids in the back. Those people are like just as important. I don't.
Right.
This is just my gift. This is my passion. You
Right.
know, I can't take care of kids.
Yeah.
I take care of my kid, but not everybody else's.
Right.
And then like guiding cars and stuff. And like, yeah, not for me.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Thanks for coming in,
Appreciate it. Man.
and appreciate you talking, and we'll see you guys soon.